Hey,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, my anxiety.
I know, nerve-wracking, right?
It's just, I'm like, I just don't want to, everybody to be trying to get in and they can't. So now we need to see, okay, wait, do I need to let you in? So I don't need to do anything, right?
No, I don't think so. So we're still waiting for the others to join us?
So it says they're waiting for approval. I don't know why I can't just bring them in. Yeah, it won't. There is nothing. Like last year, there was a button I pushed, but there is no button.
Is my lighting okay?
Your lighting is good.
You look like you have a light, a bubble light.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, Janet, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, should I move it back?
Yes.
That better?
Well, now it's on the wall. Maybe turn it a little bit. Ladies, do you see it also?
Yes.
Yeah.
So should I move it back some or move over?
Put it in front of you. Can you put it in front of you?
Janet, are you sharing your screen?
Oh, I did that again.
Oh, put it in front. That's right.
Yeah, behind your computer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is that better? Oh, check me out.
There you go.
Jasmine, Janet, and
there's one other. Wait, no, this is all of us. Nisha. I'm Nisha.
Nisha.
Mm-hmm. My name looks like everything else, but it's somehow pronounced Nisha. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, what is that?
It's Janet's screen again.
No, I don't think so. Is it me again?
It says Janet. Yeah. Screen share.
Screen share.
But my screen share button is gone now. I don't even have the screen share button.
You see the icon, the screen icon at the bottom?
Okay. I'm going to leave it just like this and I touched my computer.
There you go.
Okay. And I don't know if they are done with the main stage session. Do we know that yet?
It looks like there are more people joining. So maybe, if not, slowly but surely.
All right. Well, listen, I'm ready. Oh, they are done. They're coming. Okay. All right. So listen, I am so excited to have this conversation because just listening to the conversation on the main stage, I'm like, we have so much to say. Okay. We have lots to talk about. So we're going to get into it. And I'm just going to briefly introduce myself. And then I am going to throw it to this esteemed panel of beautiful, magnificent, fabulous women, and they will introduce themselves. So my name is Kynja Gadson. I call myself your communications cheerleader. My background is all things communications. It spans back to 12 years old, hosting my own television show. By day, I'm in the pharmaceutical sales industry, but by night and weekend and any other time, I am a communications coach and consultant. So I help primarily women amplify their voice, and we'll get into it because it's a lot of us out here whispering and not speaking up and telling our stories. And so I help you with that. We've got to tell our stories. We've got to speak boldly in the world. And I help you do that. I do have 2 boss babies myself, 2 boss babies and a bonus boss baby, or boss adult. My daughter Gia is 5. My son Grayson is 3. And my bonus baby adult is 21, Justin. So life is busy, but life is a blessing. So I'm going to turn it over to Janet. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Janet Sullivan. I have over 25 years experience working in the human resource space for law firms, professional development organizations. And in addition to being an HR leader, I'm also an executive leadership coach. I own my own executive leadership coaching business. And I also lead diversity and inclusion effort for a number of agencies. I am a mom. I have older kids. My kids are 24, 19, and my baby is actually 13, who's also my favorite. And yeah, that's a bit about me. So I'm going to pass it back to you all to introduce yourselves.
Jasmine, go ahead.
Hey y'all, Jasmin Fort's here. Been in HR industry for about 16 plus years. Currently serving as Director of Talent Management in Atlanta, Georgia for a large company that does a lot of retail engineering. I'm the mom of a 17-year-old, 12-year-old, and my youngest is in my belly right now, 3rd trimester, due in a few weeks. Thanks. So I am just grateful to be having AC in the home talking to you all, okay? Outside of my 9 to 5, I have a wellness consulting business where I support Black women specifically in understanding how to use FMLA and other restful practices while we're climbing the ladder or experiencing overwhelm. I have a support group here in Atlanta, Georgia called a Sister Siesta, where we meet and we do a lot of diving in and digging in on how we can support restful practices and being the whole woman and showing up in spaces that may not really appreciate, our full flavor. I wrote a book about it as well called A Sister Siesta, which is a pocketbook guide of positivity and HR protocol that I love to, talk about and really share with all of my other working sisters. So I'm just happy to be here and happy that the AC is on.
That part. Ayesha, go ahead.
Yay, AC. Hello, ladies. So excited to be here. My name is Ayesha Jackson, and I come to you today with over 20 years of leadership experience in the financial industry. I am a senior vice president with my company. I am responsible for performance management. I support various products, including credit card, deposit, home loans, and auto loans. I am also the volunteer president for the Greater Maryland market. That is my day job. That is what pays my salary. But my real job, I am a mom of 3 amazing boys. I also have a bonus baby who is 25. I also have a 19-year-old who just finished his freshman year in college.
All right.
Yeah. And then, of course, my baby, who does not like to be referred to as my baby, is on his way to his senior year in high school. And, of course, my amazing husband, David. So that's a little bit about me. I'm excited to be here with you ladies today.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to be here as well. And I do want to say, for those of you that are here and that are in the chat, please, this is interactive. We're not talking at you. We are talking with you. And so we want you to know you are a part of this conversation as well. So just imagine like a 5th screen with your face in it. And so please just introduce yourselves in the chat. We want to get to know you as well. And we're going to dive into this conversation. When we talk about just motherhood and working and all the things, I think for so long the world has put us in a box. Sometimes we put ourselves in a box as to what the balance of work looks like and how we reimagine what the work is. But you just heard from each and every one of us, we're doing all the things, right? We are doing all the things. And so when we talk about balance, which we learned from the main stage, that balance is trash. That was the message. Balance is trash. And it's really about, figuring out what this life looks like for us specifically. So let's get into each of your days and, what it looks like from a motherhood and work perspective, and the balance of entrepreneurship and also corporate America. Because a lot of times nowadays we're doing both, right? We're legacy building. And so how many streams can we get? How can we pursue all the things that it is that we want to do? So as we're reimagining work, what does that look like for you? And how has your perception of what working mom look like? How has that changed? And anybody can jump in.
So I can start. I'll tell you, before COVID, I thought that I had this thing mastered. If you were to talk to me about balance, I thought that I could steer you in the right direction. COVID has taught me that, I had it all wrong. I learned so much about my boys and even my husband. And, so the pandemic taught me that. At the start of the pandemic, I think I treated it as if we were having a snow day, right? So I ran out, got all these groceries. I was baking, what movies are we going to watch tonight? And then very quickly that got old and reality started to really, really settle in. And I had to, learn some things about balance. If really there's a thing called balance. For me, it was about really understanding how to better prioritize, right? Because sometimes work has to take a backseat, and then sometimes family has to take a backseat. And it's up to me to figure out the difference of the two based on my ability to prioritize. So relationships became very important with, not just my manager at work, but also my peers, as well as my direct reports. Communication was key, right? Making sure that we were always on the same page about what the priorities were, what the timelines were, and then just making sure that we were organized and getting things done, if not before the due date, then right on time. Same thing outside of work. My husband and I make an amazing team. And I heard someone say that earlier. You have got to have your support, right, to help you get things done in a way that is satisfactory and beneficial to your family. So I don't know about this thing called balance. Sometimes the family wins, sometimes work wins, and sometimes both of them lose because I need to do something to make sure that Ayesha continues to win. So
that part. Yeah, so good. What about you, Janet?
So well said. And what I would say is, for me, the pandemic, I was working at DHHS with a team that was really running the pandemic for the state of North Carolina. And so it was 13, 14, 15 hours work where we were doing a lot of work. And I learned in that moment that there was a pandemic that comes every 100 years. What we were doing, the work that we were doing, how testing and health equity and all of that work was once in a lifetime. And I was okay letting my career take the front seat then, right? Because there were lessons I was learning, things that I was gaining for my resume, for myself, for my own knowledge that would never come back in. And the way I was working with the team, the governor's office, our secretary, it was something that just deserved my 10, 12 hours. So balance was just going out the door. But now that things are moving towards recovery, I'm trying to get back that balance. And it taught me that you're going to have to sometimes allow the struggle juggle, all of it. You just have to allow it and balance through it, because now I've moved through, I'm a different person, a different professional. I've learned so much, and my skills that I've learned in the last year has just accelerated than any other time in my career. And now I can use that knowledge to move forward in my career. So all this to say is that sometimes when it feels like everything's upside down, you're really growing so much that there is going to be a time where it's going to slow down a bit. So it's really seasons, right? Mm-hmm. And that's okay to look at it that way.
Mm-hmm. So good. I love the struggle juggle.
Yeah.
Love that. With the struggle juggle. Jasmin, what about you?
Yeah, I would say, I would like to add, because I had experience with like taking a mental health leave for 12 weeks on FMLA, and it manifested on my body, right? Like the whole balance is trash thing. Like I thought I was balancing and prioritizing, and I had like this huge panic attack in my office, and it got real for me at that moment. And so I approach, work and whatever employer I'm partnering my skills with, and understanding if their values match mine. So the prioritization has been less of a challenge for me, because before I even join a company, a group or organization, I understand what the environment is like. And that has been important for me because of the detriment that it had just on my physical and my mental being. And so it really has been, of course, the priorities for myself, but the strategy that I use before I even go into a company, because I am probably categorized as a millennial, right? Like we stay at jobs for 3 years and we bounce. Like that is totally me. And and it's like, I know there's like a loyalty piece that a lot of employers like to see, but I always check in with myself first, and the loyalty is with myself first. And that has allowed me to prioritize myself and the values for myself before I align any career opportunities or even positions. I've declined certain positions, promotions, because I was like, you know what? I don't see myself working 15 hours, never do. I'm grateful for like the growth in the title and the money and all of that. But for me, kind of like you said, Nisha, like, what does it look like for you specifically? Like specifically, I mean, I would love to, cross into the C-suite one day, but is that my goal? I don't know necessarily. Like, I love being a mother. I love being a wife, and whatever supports that, I'm all for it. And that's how I balance it. Like, how do I feel first?
Yeah, that was so good. I was listening to an interview, and it was, I can't remember who said it, but it was this notion that we should stop attaching ourselves to companies and entities, and we should attach ourselves to ourselves and our skill sets and what we bring to the table, right?
Amen.
A lot of times there's this loyalty to places that don't have loyalty to us.
Amen.
And understanding the power that we have. And so often, especially from a communications perspective, when I'm consulting with companies and coaching women, one of the things that I see is we don't really understand the value that we bring to the table, especially Black women. And I'm just like what? I wish I could just, I don't know if I need to shine a light on to people. I don't know what I need to do, but it's like we're not understanding our worth. And so as women who have climbed the corporate ladder and have done all the things, how do we have the conversation with women, as we're doing right now, about seeing the value in yourself, really positioning yourself for success at your respective companies, understanding what you bring to the table and not accepting anything less than that? I'm going to throw it to Ayesha because I'd love to know what you have to say about that.
So I think that relationships matter. And, you know, I am fortunate enough to have a network, a very strong network. And some people call it different things. Some people call it a board of directors. Some people call it a fan base. You know, some people call it an at-work family. But I have a strong network at work. And within that network, those teammates play different roles, right? So depending on what I'm experiencing at any time, that's who I determine who I navigate to and seek out guidance. Outside of that network, you know, many of us that work for corporations have internal groups that we can also rely on. So, you know, with my company, we refer to them as employee networks. So there is a Black professional group. There is an organization for women, for Hispanic and Latinos. I just so happen to be a member of all of them, right? Mm-hmm. And some people think that that might be excessive, but it really just, again, depends on what's going on in my life and what I need guidance or clarity on. And that's how I decide who I'm going to navigate to and spend time with. But it's really about relationships. And here's one best practice that I want to share with everyone. And I encourage my mentees to do this. I also encourage my direct reports to do this. By the end of every month, you should have a sound list of accomplishments, right? And some people think that that's basically your to-do list from throughout the month. No, document your accomplishments, not just what you did, but the impact that you made, right? Quantify it as succinctly as you can. And don't just think short term, think long term. So although you implemented this great thing today, and this was the impact today, what's going to be the impact in 6 months? What's going to be the impact in 12 months? Is that something that is specific to your internal department, or is it something that you can share across departments? The reason that accomplishments and documenting them are so important is because that is the conversation piece that you need when you have conversations to promote yourself, to talk about career advancement and growth. And when it's time for you to get your mid-year review, your end-of-year review, there is no denying the facts, right? So when you want to self-reflect, those accomplishments really help you to either buck up your chest or maybe humble yourself, right? So communication is very important. Relationships are very important. And I encourage everybody to make sure that you are documenting your accomplishments, not just what you did, but the impact that you made.
Oh my gosh, so important. I almost hit a backflip into a cartwheel while you were talking, but I don't know how to do either of those. And so in my mind, I did it. In my mind, I did it. And just to say briefly to the ladies in the room, make sure if you have any questions, put them in the Q&A. Again, interactive, put them in the chat. I see all of your yeses, but I want you to know this is for you. And so if you have any questions, definitely put them in the chat and we'll get to them. Janet, tell me your thoughts, because Ayesha just said a mouthful and I know you were feeling it as well. talk to me about, how we should be showing up and really advocating for ourselves.
Yeah, I think the most underutilized way to do this is your values. People say lead by your values all the time, but people don't take chance to sit and actually list their core values where they can just rolls off their tongue. You can use Google to find out a values exercise and just find your core values and identify about 3 of them. So for me, mine is joy, justice, and integrity. So when you know what your values are, what you do is you align your work week. Anytime you're doing any work, is your value showing? Are you finding joy? Right? Is there justice happening? Because what happens, or equity, what happens is if your values are violated, it shows up in depression, anxiety, not wanting to be at the job. Some people have values such as having fun at work, or having trust is really important to them, or communication is really important to you. So if you notice you're not getting communication from your manager, communication from your team, you realize you don't feel like you want to be there. So aligning your values and knowing what your values are allows you to align your work and allows you to align your family life with your core values. The other advice I would give is getting an executive coach. And this is something where you're not paying for. This is something that perhaps if you're at an organization that's supportive of that, if they have professional development dollars, for you to get someone one-on-one, for you to outline, to understand what your blind spots are, because we all have them. There's something we all do that makes us ineffective at work. We all have it. And how powerful it is to have a safe space with an executive coach, a leader that's trained, someone that does this for a living, and to be able to help you have that space to succeed, and to be able to have behavioral practices where you can practice in the office, whatever you're learning, whatever those blind spots are. So I think that's a little known secret in corporate America. A lot of the C-suites folks have executive coaches. And so it's a little known secret that I think that we all should be leveraging and researching and making the organization pay for it and not pay for it yourself.
Oh, so good. Are y'all taking notes?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is so good. I can't even do it. Jasmin, you got anything to add to that, sis?
I mean, I agree. A lot of what Janet was saying was much of what I see every day at my job. In talent management, it's talent attraction to talent retention. And a lot of times when we come to some of those appraisals, I think someone in the chat was talking about it. It's great for appraisals. A lot of people are comfortable talking about, what they're great at, right? This is where, this is how I know what my value is. But with any commodity, you have to know the minuses too, right? And our talent is a commodity in these organizations, if we're being honest. So having not only the self-awareness is key, communicating it, but knowing the next steps to develop it and be stronger, right? So I know it's an opportunity for me, but this is what I'm doing to get better. And this is why, I'm doing it. That's another thing to add to the equation of value, if you will. And in the organization I work for, we all are basically in this executive coaching program. It stopped during COVID, but since we've been back, there's like another layer of it because of COVID and working remote and all these other things that have come up, where a lot of us didn't know that we were weak in communication, time management, some other things that we thought we were so stellar at, and I'm such a great leader at XYZ, but it's like, well, no, I mean, I know that my value is a lot, but I could really use some work here. And so to Janet's point, that executive coaching has been A1 for me for sure.
Yes. Well, and here's the thing, with the pandemic, one of the things that we've seen is everybody has had to reimagine what work looks like, right? I mean, we literally just work from home with these kids and almost, I feel like we worked harder. Like, I'm still like, am I getting a bonus or something at some point? Is it in the mail? I check the mail, it's not there, because I have never worked so hard in my life. Yeah. And I think what it's caused us to do now is really try to figure out how we navigate now with our children and the work-life boundaries that we are setting, right? And so how can, women now go to their employers and say, you know, I need a little bit more balance in how or boundaries in how I'm doing this, you know, and how I'm showing up. I have kids. I'm trying to do all the things. You know, now we're working from home. Now folks have to go back into the office at some point. Although I think that will be modified a bit because we've been shown that people can be successful and work from home as well. But what does that look like when we need to ask the questions at work and say, here is what I need to be effective as a mom? Like, what does that look like? Can we have those conversations, or do we just have to just do it, you know, kind of grin and bear it and not have the conversation? What does that look like?
To me, it first of all, it is a crucial conversation. Like, you definitely have that conversation. In the environment I'm in, the leader I report into is a mom as well, and a Black mother. So she wasn't all like hype about, oh, I can't wait to see you guys. Oh, I want to come back. She wasn't doing any of that. Okay. Girlfriend was like, listen, my kids are here. I've finally got the balance I need. I'm not having to code switch and all that when I get in the office. It's good, you know. But like some of my girlfriends, you know, they're getting some of those messages. And my advice to them was to literally just approach it like asking, not a pilot program, because the last 14 months has been a pilot program in itself to show that we've been productive. But a lot of leaders still are like really gung-ho about bringing us back into the office. So I was saying to them, can you ask for 90 days, like a pilot program, honestly, to say, this is what it would look like. And I don't even approach it as I'm a mom. Like, I don't feel like you have to know all of that. I'm approaching it as this is what I need to continue to be employed here. And if you do value what I do, which you probably do, then this is a conversation that we should continue. And so 2 of my girlfriends have had that conversation, and I would tell you their leaders were surprised that they even broached it, right? Because a lot of people don't have the courage. But when you give them a plan, like you wrote out the plan and the solution, this is when I'm working, these are the days I may come in, or we can talk about what that looks like. You know, it was on an Excel spreadsheet. I helped them draft it all up. How can you say no? You know, I'm not even giving you the position to think about it more. I'm handing you the solution. Now you're telling me why this won't work, you know? So I don't know what it's looking like for them now, because here in Atlanta, like, Georgia's been open, y'all. Atlanta's been on one since the beginning. So it's been looking different. But, you know, as for me and my house, we're still in the house and I work from home 100%. But I don't know what the conversations look like for them. So I wish I could share that right now. But I know that they are having the conversations. And it's just important to have that courage. And you don't necessarily have to give up your demographics to do that. Like, this is just what I need, you know, to be successful here, and see how that conversation fleshes out.
Yeah, I agree with everything Jasmine just said, but you have to have the courage to have the conversation. And I think the conversation is being had in HR offices everywhere, because this is also, even the people who are the decision makers they went through everything we went through in terms of balancing. I will say that, to be honest, but you also have to know there's gonna be some organizations that believe they need FaceTime, right? So I think there's gonna be a happy medium. So the ask might not be approved. But what I think, to something Jasmine said that everyone should do, we have this very global idea of what work-life balance is, but it's important to take some time to decide, what does work balance mean for you? What is that definition? Does it mean that you get off work early? Does it mean, because it doesn't always mean like, can you have, if you can't have the full telework, can you change your schedule to 7 to 3 or 8 to 4? Can you do some in half day, 4 hours and be home? So just think about a lot of creative ways and how you can meet your employer, and not make it an all or nothing, that it's either work from home or not. All right.
Yeah, I think that you ladies make some really great points. And Jasmine, I love your best practice of creating a spreadsheet and laying out your plan. That really highlights that you've thought this thing through, and you really do make it difficult for your employer to say no. So I really like that. I would encourage everyone to start having the conversations now. If you're still at home, don't wait. Start to have the conversation now. And in addition to having the conversation, start to let your employer experience what it feels like. And so what I mean by that is, you know, in the past, I have been someone that, you know, would pride myself on never calling out sick. When my boys were very, very, very small, I would call out sick if it was the very last resort. But then as soon as they started to get older, there was no need, at least I felt there was no need for me to take sick days. And so I was there from sun up until sundown. And, that became part of my brand, is that, reliable, always there. But it's not healthy. It's not healthy. And so what I have been doing is, if I don't feel well, I don't always push through. I can't, and I owe it to myself and my body and my mental wellness to take the time. It's there. I don't need to take all of it, but I should take some of it, just because if I'm not okay, everything around me is not going to be okay. Mm-hmm. That's work, that's husband, that's children, that's everything. So start to allow your employer to understand what that feels like. So the good news is that today, when I have to let my manager know that I'm stepping out because, my son could probably drive himself to the dentist, but I've been taking him since he was little. I need to be there. So I'll be back. I'm stepping out. Nothing suffers. Not any, no deadlines are missed. If there's a meeting that I'm expected to present in, I'm there, I'm on point. If you give me a task, I'm not going to come back to you and tell you that I can't do it. I'm still going to do all the things, right? I'm still going to do all the things. So help them feel what it would be like based on your ask, right? That Excel documented plan that you want to put in place post-pandemic. So start now.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, and can I just say this? Somebody Shanice put in the chat, sick days are a good idea. And you are
wellness days.
Yes, wellness day. I mean, I think, and funny, one of my friends, Monet, I'm sure she's in the room, and she's going to talking to you, because I just had this struggle, a real struggle where it's like, I don't know how to take the time, and I'm doing all the things, and burnout happened, right? Yeah. And I don't know, like I was talking to her about it, and she's like, you need to just plan like a day for yourself during the week. Like while those kids are at school, like if you don't feel like you can do it on the weekend, like go somewhere to a spa. She sent me like spas. Then she told me if I don't make the appointment by next week, she's going to make it for me. I'm like, those are the type of friends you need that are like, look, you're going to get that day one way or the other. And so we need it. We all need it. I think we are, we always hear you can't pour from an empty cup. Man, that cup has been, I don't even know what happened to the cup.
That's right.
Where is the cup? So I think it's important for us to have this conversation and also empower each other that, no matter what stage of your career, even at the highest levels, we all need a break. We all need to take our kids to those appointments. We need to, to have the boundaries that are necessary to be successful. So I think we only have like 1 minute left. What happened? How did this time go so fast? I'm sad. Okay. So really quick, we're going to do a fast, like round robin. Any quick tip that you can give these amazing women on climbing the corporate ladder, like in this new world that we're in, whether it's in corporate America, whether it's in entrepreneurship, doing it your way. What is your tip? We will start with Janet.
I would say throw out the idea of the corporate ladder and look for something called a lattice, which is a lattice is what you see in a garden. You can up, down. There's nothing wrong with taking a step back, shifting to a whole new career. I've climbed the corporate ladder all the way to the top, and there's nothing really at the view other than more work, more stress, and health issues. And so that nearly almost kills me. So just know that don't climb anything. What you should be focused on is what is your goal for your life, for yourself, and then use this concept of going sideways, up, down, wherever that takes you.
Yes. Go ahead, Jasmin.
My mantra is real professionals rest, period. That's the easiest thing I can say about being in corporate or in entrepreneurship. Real professionals rest. And that's what my book is based off of. You can take it, interpret it however you want to, but I believe in giving from the saucer and not the cup. And that's because I rest and I'm a real professional.
The saucer, that's why I couldn't find the cup, because it's a saucer.
That's why, sis.
That is amazing. Ayesha, go ahead.
Nobody can take care of you like you can take care of you. Okay. So make sure that you are self-advocating, make sure that you are putting your mental wellness first, and whatever that looks like and however it shows up, listen to your instinct, listen to your inner voice, whatever it's telling you, do it. When you have a seat at the table, speak. You have a right to be there just like everyone else. And like I said, document those accomplishments. They go a really long way as far as your self-confidence and helping you move from one role to another role. Ladies, invest in yourself.
Oh, did y'all hear that? I'm just in awe of such a quick, powerful conversation. I mean, it was just everything that I ever needed, and I'm the moderator, so I don't know. I hope y'all got something, because I thought this whole thing was for me. Was this for me? So here's what I want you all to tell these lovely ladies. How can they reach you beyond this conversation? Because Jasmine, folks are hitting you up in the chat. They want your spreadsheet, sis. There's all the things. All right, so Jasmine, how can they reach you on Instagram?
At wellrested_working woman. That's me, or at wellrestedworking.com. My email is on there
too, so they'll have it.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, Janet.
At Notes from HR on IG, and then you can also find me, Janet, at plantedleadership.com.
Oh, I love it. Ayesha?
IG EashJax911. Also, don't hesitate to email me. Everybody else does. AYE0912@gmail.com.
Oh my goodness. And I am Kynja Gadson, but my name is not spelled like Nisha. So I'm going to have to spell it out for you. I'll put it in the chat. It is Kynja, Knyja Gadson. And you can hit me up on IG and let me know if you need anything from a communications perspective. Listen, we got to be out here talking loud. We need our voices to be heard, and it starts with you today. So I know that you guys are probably having to navigate back over to the main stage. I'm going to ask the ladies on the stage to just stay put so I can get a picture, because priorities. Hello. Thank you all for joining us for the Unwritten Rules for Success. We had the best time, and you all were the most exceptional audience with these lovely, lovely ladies. So see you all later. All right.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Let me get a picture. Hold on. I'm going to make my screen big, and I'll tag you all. Oh, wait. Let me try to. Okay. All right. Wait, there's a little icon here. Okay. All right. Smile, ladies. All right. Let's see what we're looking like. Oh, we're ready. We're ready. We were ready. Okay.
All right. Yeah, that was great, y'all.
Yes.
You ladies were amazing. I got so many gems. So
yes.
Thank you.
And y'all be on the lookout for my LinkedIn invite so we can stay connected there too.
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes. I need more accountability partners, because apparently I got to get to somebody's spa soon. We all do. And
yes.
Much success with the baby, Jasmine.
Thank you.
Call the,
Aisha, someone's looking for your IG there.
Oh, Jasmine, if you need me to stand by, call the ambulance. How much time you got?
I have about 9 weeks. So,
okay, yes.
But I have a doula, kids, and you know.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we're done. So much love to you all. This was magnificent. It really was.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
I don't
you.
even know how to
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, ladies.
Bye.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay.